Okay, part 11, neutral rares. The first card is Argent Watchman. So the question here is if this card can be an alternative to Ancient Watcher. Ancient Watcher is being used mainly in handlock, especially for the purpose to taunt this up and for the purpose to use it with Shadow Flame. Argent Watchman is much worse if you want to use it with Shadow Flame. If you want to taunt it up, it's also a little bit worse. The 2 damage and the 1 health kinda hurts. But on the other hand, Warlock will often use the hero power, so the Inspire will trigger a lot. So you can use this to really destroy minions, like something like a Knife Juggler. But overall, I think the Ancient Watcher is the better card for the handlock, and I don't really see another purpose for this Argent Watchman so far, so I think it's a little bit too weak for Constructed. In Arena, I also don't like this card because you don't want to use your hero power on turn 3, and yeah, so regular 2-drops I think are a little bit better. But I like the idea behind this card. I think it needed a little bit more stats. Next card is the Armored Warhorse. Very interesting card. It's a 5/3 beast for 4 mana. That is pretty underwhelming, but it gets the Joust mechanic. And if you win, it is charge. Wow. A 5 attack charge minion without any disadvantage, except that sometimes you don't get the charge. This is very interesting. I would try this out in Midrange Hunter. Not sure if it's good enough, but I would try it out. Maybe you'd play just 1 copy of it, something like that. Yeah. I think people will try it in Constructed. Maybe they build a special deck around it, maybe some Beast Druid. I don't know, to finish with this card and Savage Roar. But yeah, we'll see about that. Yeah, next card is Colosseum Manager. Not much to say about it. 3 mana, 2/5. Is already almost below average. Not really. Sometimes it's nice to trade a couple of 2 health minions with this card, but nothing I'm particularly excited about because there's already Druid of the Flame. And Druid of the Flame already doesn't see so much play in Druid. Maybe someone will find a deck for Colosseum Manager, which is not Druid, but I don't see that working. And the Inspire mechanic is also not that good. In Arena, though, this card I think it's quite alright. In the late game, you can get some value when you heal this card with your hero ability by putting it back to your hand. Yeah, it's alright. Next card is the Fencing Coach. I already talked about this card when I reviewed Wolfrid Fizzlebang and Confessor Peltras, so I think this card was made for especially those 2 legendaries. Of course, you can also combine it with other Inspire cards like, I don't know, Thunderbluff Valiant. But yeah, it's especially for those 2 very, very important to trigger the Inspire very early. Yeah, so I think the Fencing Coach will definitely see play. People will try this out. In my opinion, it's a little bit too weak, because when you just get a 2/2 on turn 3, and on the same turn you don't want to hero power, because you want to combine this with your Inspire cards. So you just get the 2/2 for 3 mana, and I think that's maybe a little bit too weak for turn 3, but yeah, maybe if your deck is a strong control deck, you can get away with that. We'll see about that. Next card is Injured Queldia. I don't know, I think this card only works together with Circle of Healing. If you don't have the Circle of Healing in your hand and you don't have like additionally a Northshire Cleric out there, this card isn't really interesting. So it's especially for Priest, and especially only if you have the Circle of Healing, else it's pretty crappy. Not really appealing. Maybe another budget version of the Zombie Chow, but I don't know. Not too exciting to me. Master Jouster. So this card is an alternative to Sunwalker, and Sunwalker is already seeing play in very few competitive decks. Some Druid versions put it in to have another big taunt, So Master Jouster, yeah, it could be interesting for Druid, but I think it's not quite good enough to make the cut in Druid, especially because Druid got the new Thanatos Aspirant, so Druid decks are even more full with mana manipulation, and yeah, the slots are really competitive there. So I think it's slightly too weak to see play, but the card is alright, I like the design. In Arena it's okayish depending on how much. No, not really depending on your deck. I think Joust is more or less 50-50 always in Arena. Mogor's Champion, yeah, I like the artwork. Lights Champion, yeah, this will counter all the Demon Fuse decks out there. Not because they are not there, but still. Saboteur, I don't know if Inspire decks really become a huge thing. I don't see it right now, and this is just one turn blocking the enemy hero power. I mean, the opponent doesn't want to use the hero power anyway, so it's really not that exciting, and the stats are mediocre. Alright, that's it for the rare cards. Thanks for watching. Leave questions and critics in the comments as always. And please make sure to participate in the Grand Review Challenge before the forms are closing on Monday. Bye bye, see you in my next video.